Hello everybody, happy Tuesday, good to see you all. Hope you're all well. I just had some internet problems there, so I was rushing around trying to make my screen work. But we got there in the end, we're here, we've made it. And today we're going to do another really super simple, fun craft. I'm not sure where I found this. I feel like I saw it maybe on Pinterest and then I thought I'd have a go in my own style. And I really liked the idea of it. I feel like also this might be connected to the fact that over the summer I taught my daughter how to play some card games. And so we spent a lot of time playing cards. We started with Uno. We took Uno on holiday with us and then we advanced to proper playing cards. So we learned Rummy. And I even taught her solitaire or patience. I can't remember the difference between patience and solitaire, but I was taught patience when I was a kid. So that's what we did. And I think maybe also the other reason that I quite like this craft is that you can buy playing cards really cheaply. You can buy a pack of playing cards for like £1 in a pound shop. And I just think they're really beautiful. I really like the style of them. And so essentially we're just going to enhance the cards and make them into sort of collage art. And I thought, I mean, I haven't done it myself yet because I'm using these example pieces to show you, but I'm thinking that the end result might be that we will sort of make a selection that might then, you could maybe frame them. I kind of like the idea that they could sit in like a square frame if we were just to buy a really cheap sort of black frame. And also if you did it like that, if you were to frame them, you could maybe personalize them and they might make really, really simple, easy Christmas gifts. So there's an option for you. If you're already thinking about presents for Christmas and you want to do stuff on the cheap, then this would make a really good, I think this would make a really cool gift for someone. So as you can probably tell, you're going to need a pack of cards. Just one pack is fine, and a pack that you don't want to play, because we're going to take cards out of it and use them. So they'll no longer be useful to play games with. But this is I think this is the great thing about using playing cards is you get more than 52, don't you? Because you get your jokers as well. So you get like 54 opportunities for making art at a very, very cheap price, I think. And they're a lovely size as well. So really, you can probably see already that we're just going to do some fun sort of cut and pasting from magazine cutouts. And we're going to stick them onto the cards in such a way that you can still see that they're playing cards. And I like to think as well that we'll have a sort of theme. Now, the theme that I've sort of gone with has been informed completely by the magazine that I've chosen. So this will be quite fun because you can kind of choose what theme you use based on what you use to cut out, and it can be sort of by chance. So the magazine I'm using is just this copy of Vogue that I actually got for free. I know it's got a price on it, and I have mentioned this before, and I don't know if this, I need intel from you guys. I need you to go and check for me so I can tell you all about it. But Everyone Active, which is I think it's like a brand of gym or like leisure centre. I think they're countrywide. The one that I go swimming to has free magazines. So I think the surplus magazines they don't sell, they then put in these leisure centres for people to take for free. So I know I talk a lot about recycled materials and sort of cheap crafts that don't cost a lot of money. If any of you are members of that sort of leisure centre, then go and check out, see if it's a thing nationally where you can get free magazines, because I'm always after free magazines for collage all the time. If not, you can always use your sort of free magazines you get in supermarkets. They're always good, or newspapers or old books. I have got some old books here as well. These ones are from charity shops. You can see this one here was £1, and they always have some great pictures in, and I really like the old sort of look of the pages. They're a bit yellowing and I like the writing on them. So that's what I'm going to use today. I've got a standard glue stick, some scissors, I've got some stickers as well, just in case we have, you know, if you have any stickers lying about, might as well pop them on there. I have got my little hole punch that cuts out circles, but this is not necessary at all. You don't need to have one of those if you don't have one. I also found these. I've got these little hole punches that are a heart shape and a star shape. If you have something like that, that might be quite fun. We'll see how we go. So first things first, I'm going to move these ones out of the way, and then we'll have a little look in our magazine and see what sort of things we can find. I have got some cutouts here from the last one I did, the example pieces of other bits that I cut out that I thought I could use, but I'll sort of show you what I'm looking for, the sorts of things that I'm looking for, and why they might be useful. I've got some more cutouts here so that we can use those, but I'll show you how I've sort of got to that point, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, I've got loads of stuff there. Fantastic. That's great. Because then what usually happens is I sort of chat for ages and ages, and then I run out of time. So at least I've got some there ready to stick down if I need them. What's on this page? Oh, this one's quite nice. Got some black and white images here. So I'm going to go through this little this Vogue, and I'm going to see if I can find any examples of images that might work. Now already I'm thinking, so you know, you get the back of magazines, you get, it's kind of like advertising, I think, but often the images are quite small, so this might be quite useful, because playing cards are not the biggest, so we are going to be looking for sort of smaller images, so these all might be quite useful. And depending on the sort of style you're going for will depend on the sort of pictures that you decide to choose. So I think some of these are quite some of these wedding ones are quite nice. What else have we got here? Dresses. And I think the best way to describe this is that I'm looking for things that I can cut out. Now that might sound very self-explanatory, but what I mean by that is that I can cut out the entire image all the way round, rather than sort of an image with a background, because if it has a background, then it's not going to be very good on top of the playing card, because then we won't see the playing card. I found a little doggy here. This might be good. Quite like that one. So yeah, there's loads of options in these sorts of magazines, I think. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip to the sort of fashiony bit. I'm going to see if I can find any faces. I think faces are quite good. So this one here I think is quite good. It's black and white. I quite like this sort of contrasting colour. So we'll cut her out. I like that she's got like a bob haircut, and critically it's probably small enough to fit on a playing card. So that's one of the things we need to be checking when we're cutting things out. If I get a playing card out ready, you can see that if we cut her face out and maybe her arm, that's going to fit on a playing card quite nicely. So that's good. What other sort of images might we look for? Sorry, I'm wobbling the camera while I'm looking through the magazine. I'm thinking colours. I like sort of, this sounds funny, but sort of body parts like legs and arms and things like that. You might like shoes are quite good, I think. What else have we got? And I also look for sort of backgrounds that we can use to rip out to make shapes. I think they're always quite good. Food would be quite good, I think. Got some lovely landscapes here. That looks lovely. I won't get distracted, I promise. And words as well. This is the other thing. I'm going to use cutouts from the old books, but if you see sort of writing that you like the look of, that's always, I think, quite good. I really like her eyes, but I think they look a bit too closed. I'm just trying to see if there's sort of anything quite sort of, I'm going sophisticated. I'm going sort of black and white colours. This might be quite nice here. I'm looking for just some sort of like some items, I think that's what I'm looking for. Things that I can cut out quite easily. Oh, these are quite nice. Something in here might be quite good. I'm going to rip that page out, I think, and see if I can find anything from that page. Move the magazine out of the way. So I feel like I like this one where she's on this sort of flowery lounger. I think that's quite nice. I think that's probably too big to fit on the playing card, but we might be able to use some of it. You know, I think we might be able to find some use for it. Let's keep going in our quest for things that we can use. I'm now looking for sort of items that we can put in there. We're in interiors now, so this could work quite well. This red lip here would be quite good, I think. Should we cut that out? That looks fun. I like the look of that. Okay, and I'm just roughly cutting these out at the minute. I'm almost like making a little pile of things ready for me to cut out. And then I'll put all the sort of excess on the side. Okay, let's go back in. I'm just going to find a couple of bits and bobs because I have got some stockpiled ready, just so you get the idea of the sort of things we're looking for. There's a plate of chips down here, but they're sort of out of focus, which is a bit annoying because that would have been quite good. Let's see. I mean, this is quite a good example of some good writing that you could cut out. If there's any words that sort of stand out to you. Are we on to sort of the advertisements now? Got any images we can use? Let's see. We're just reading a magazine now. That's what we're doing. We're just having a little look. Just having a little look through. I always quite looking at the beginning is quite interesting because the beginning of magazines often have like the sort of almost like the content. So they might have some smaller images of the bigger bits that are sort of running throughout. So let's see if we can find. Oh, this is nice. We've got some nice florals here. I feel like they could be quite useful as like background. I've just seen some more florals here. Look, I've sort of half cut out, so I'm going to rip that out as well. Just keep that to one side. So I've got some nice backgrounds. This would make nice background as well, I think. These trees. So here we're at the contents page. So we've got smaller images, which I always think are useful. Is that it? Was that all of the contents? I wonder if it was. Are we just down to, oh, here we go. Here's some more contents now. So this one here could be good, I think. Where did I put my scissors? Oh, on my knee. They're on my knee. I'm going to cut that out. Fantastic. And then let's just see what we've got. Just go to the front very quickly. Just sort of seeing like this is quite nice. It's quite sort of vintage looking. I think we could probably do something with that. How can we do? And it's just about sort of like images that you like the look of, and whether whether they'd fit, and whether you think you can cut them out in such a way that they'll sort of stand out. I suppose that one's quite nice. Okay, we're at the front. I'm just going to rip this. I feel like this could fit quite nicely somehow. So rip that out, and then hopefully that'll be then me wobbling the camera because I've ripped all the bits and bobs out. So I'm going to put my magazine to one side, and we're going to cut some images out now. We've got a few bits and bobs, and we're going to get them all nice and neat, and then we can start choosing our playing cards and how we want them to look. So as I said before, you're sort of looking for images that you can cut out quite nicely. So like this is a really good example because it has, I mean, we're going to have to cut out like the inside of her arm, which will be a little bit fiddly, but then that will look really effective, I think, on the playing card itself. So what I'm going to do is I've cut that out, and what I'm just going to test it on here. So it's ever so slightly too big. So we're going to need to chop it down in some way so we can decide how much of, like, which bit of her we would like. I'm just going to chop a straight line along here, like so. And then we can see that that will fit on there nicely. But what we are going to do is we're going to cut the hole out as best we can. Now, my teeny tiny nail scissors, which I usually use for very small things like this, I know are not in this room. So I'm going to persevere with these big scissors, and hopefully I won't make too much of a mess of it. Wow, this is really hard to do with these scissors, I have to say. Yeah, small scissors definitely needed for this. And I can't, where is her arm? Is it there? Okay, I think it's there. We'll go with that. Oh, I mean, that bit's a bit rubbish. I'm just going to see if I can trim it down. I'm not happy with that at all. There we go. That's better, isn't it? There we go. Lovely. So now that will fit quite nicely on there. Let's move on. I'm going to cut out a few sort of people, and then we'll look at some of the backgrounds, and then we can start actually collaging them together, because that's the fun bit, really, is just sort of like choosing how we place these people onto the cards. So this one we said was definitely too big to fit on the card. So I'm just going to make a start on cutting it out and then just see where we are once I've done it. I just really like the sort of floral sun lounger that she's on. It's got potential. Because you can also, the other thing you can do is you can like, you can sort of stick with that kind of playing card theme, you know, the sort of like Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter's Tea Party theme. I think that works really well, but you can do any theme you want, really, and dependent on what options you have for your cutouts will depend on how its overall look is. Okay, so at this point we can sort of have a think about how we want it to sit, and we can sort of fold it over, and I think about there will be quite nice. We still get that lovely floral sun lounger, but we're just making sure we're cutting it where we need to. Fantastic. There's another one. Great. Oh, let's cut this lovely red lip out, shall we? Lovely. Oh, that's great. I really like that. I think body parts are quite good, like hands and feet and legs. I've got this little leg here that I've got left over, which I quite like. Do I have any other? Oh, I have some more feet here. Okay, let's cut out this. I don't know how I'm going to do. The only thing is, I don't know how I'm going to do that tiny little hole there. We will try our best. Let's see what we can do. See if we can make it work. Used for another random craft with my children, probably. And it's really, really warm in my office. We've got a real sort of problem with the heating being correct. So we have started putting the heating on because it's really gone down a notch, hasn't it? It's gone really quite cold outside. And so we've been putting the heating on, but then what happens is it gets really hot upstairs, and then downstairs is never warm enough. So we can never decide. So you don't know whether to put the heating on or not, because it's too hot upstairs and too cool downstairs. Okay, so she's looking good. I'll probably just I might leave that little blue bit because I quite like the colour, that blue colour. So we'll sort of make that work. We've got some other bits and bobs here. We've got this sort of floral pattern, which I think we'll probably use as sort of background pieces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hole punch some of those with this circular hole punch. If you don't have one of these, absolutely fine. You can just draw around something small and circular and cut it out that way. So I would say draw around something circular on the other side, maybe like a small paint pot, or like a small jar or something like that. But these I think are very useful if you don't have one of these. They are really good fun. Oh, if they work, I've managed to sort of not cut this out properly. Sort of managed to rip the edge somewhat. So I'll just cut around the edge of that. But you get these lovely circular images, which I quite like. You don't have to use all of them. You can sort of, you can just cut half of one. So I'll do that now, actually. So this particular one has got like a ripped edge, and I quite like that. So I might do a sort of half a circle. So you get like this sort of thing, which looks quite nice, I think. My close-up camera seems to be quite bad quality at the minute. I'm not sure what's going on today, but the internet seems to be not very happy with me in any capacity. So hopefully that will sort itself out soon. I'm just going to clean up some of this rubbish and hope that the quality of the camera changes. And so I'm going to stop cutting out now, I think, just because I've got quite a lot of options, but you might want to cut quite a lot more out. You might want to give yourself loads and loads of different options. And also it depends on how many cards you want to do at a time. I'm only going to do a sort of small handful, but totally up to you. It depends on like how much time you've got. I'm just going to sort of lay all these sort of random bits and bobs out so you can sort of see the different things we've got here. So we've got quite a few images of people, faces, body parts. We've got legs, mouths, and all of them have been cut out in such a way that they fit on a playing card quite nicely. And then we've got a few random cutouts here. I've done the circular cutouts of sort of patterns that I like. We'll do more of that sort of thing with other items later. So I'm gonna, I tell you what I will do. I'm gonna have a little look, see if I can do it on this camera. I've got my little Enid Blyton book. I've got my book of fairies. So what I might do, so the great thing about these sort of Enid Blyton books is they do come with images inside them. So they come with the pictures that you can cut out. Some of them are quite fun. And I'm not saying we should all go around chopping up Enid Blyton books. It's just that these are the sort of books you can buy really cheaply in charity shops. And so they're good fun. I've just seen something and I'm really excited. So I was just having a flick through to see if there's any sort of wording that I wanted to use. And I think straight away, we're going to use this. So this chapter is called Off to the Land of Tiddlywinks. So I'm cutting that out straight away because I want that on one of my cards for sure. And again, like if you're into sort of like hand lettering yourself, then you can go ahead and write on top yourself. But I quite like this cut and paste sort of style. I don't think Off to the Land of Tiddlywinks is going to fit on one card, which I'm quite sad about. We might have to chop it up. Oh no, it will. It will just about. My phone camera is still playing havoc. It's still not working very well. So yeah, Off to the Land of Tiddlywinks is definitely working. I really like that. So let's see. And first of all, I'm just going to see if I can make the internet work slightly better. So hopefully, there we go. You can see my hands now. That's great. So the next thing to do is to start thinking about what cards we want to use. Now I'm going to keep periodically waving my hand over this to see if it's working. It's working. Can you see my hands? So this pack of cards I've already obviously broken into because I've used some as the example pieces. This bit I really love doing because you get to choose the cards that are your favourite. I don't know, am I the only one that has favourite playing cards, like numbers and suits and stuff? So I mean, like the Ace of Spades is always wonderful because it's always really beautiful. And then you've got your kings and your queens and your jacks. They're always good fun because the pictures are really beautiful. We'll have a 5 of hearts. So I always think maybe a collection of the red and black suits is good. So we've got 2 black suits, and then if we want a red one, we should probably get a diamond, shouldn't we, in there? Maybe the 3 of diamonds. Let's start with those 4 and see how we get on. You can use your joker as well, of course. You can do what you want with your cards. I think the joker is quite a good one, actually. Before I forget, I have got this ballroom dancing book, which I got from a charity shop. I think that was also £1. And it comes with pictures. Let's see if I can find the pictures. Because they have like images of people dancing. So like old books that have black and white images in are great for this. I think they really suit the style. She says, flicking through it and not finding one single picture of a person. It does tell you a lot about ballroom dancing. I saw one then. Did we see it? There she is. So we've got these sort of images here, which I think are really good. So I think they could work quite well. I'm going to rip that out anyway, just so we have it to hand, should we wish to use it. Okay, right. I'm going to move the books to one side and we can start thinking about collaging and sticking it all together. So we've got our 4 cards. Let's start with the 3 of diamonds because that's the least exciting. That's the least exciting of the 4. So let's now start to put everything together. And at this point, it's a bit of sort of Tetris, really. We're just having a play around. So we're just looking at our images and seeing which ones fit. So like this one I'd cut out before. This is like a lady with a big dress on. And she's sort of doing a cool sort of dance move. And she fits really nicely on the edge there. I think that looks really nice. And I feel like we could put some kind of something colourful underneath. What about this mouth? Would that work? I feel like that looks quite nice. It's quite big though. Where was that? I did have like a weird sort of face of cat. No, that doesn't work. We've got some fairies cut out from the Enid Blyton book. We've got some more random faces. We've got Off to the Land of Tiddlywinks, which would be quite nice. I wonder if we could put that across, maybe. That looks quite good. And then maybe we could put something a bit colourful underneath. So we're just thinking about how we're going to sort of pop it all together. I want something I want a bright colour. Something like this, maybe. So we can just look at the sort of images that we like. If I come back over here to one of my sort of bits of sort of scrap paper that we've got here. We've got the grass. Yeah, maybe we'll just have a bit of the grass. So I'm just going to sort of rip a section of that. So I've just got a sort of little line. And then what happens if we stick that underneath there? See, that works quite nicely. Just to add a bit of something. Would it go a little bit? I think I want it a bit smaller than that. I want it a bit thinner. So we can stick that there. That there. Lovely. And then off to the land of tiddlywinks. Can we make it fit? Yeah, that will fit on there quite nicely. And then I'm thinking some little dots, what might be quite nice. So I've got my little tiny hole punch. I can make some, oh, maybe I've got this random bit of ripped grass here that would work quite nicely. And you're just layering it up. So let's stick that down to begin with. Oh, I might hole punch it first. So I've got this tiny little hole puncher. You can use a normal hole puncher and just use one corner if you want. But what I like to do is punch lots of holes in them. And then you can also use the little circles afterwards as well. I think that's quite a nice thing to do because then you get to see all the stuff underneath it, which I really like. So we're going to start by sticking down our little bits of grass. I don't know why my glue stick's got black all over it. What have we been doing? Is it black paint? Who knows? Who knows in my house? Okay, so we're going to stick that down first of all. And then I'll stick this little bit as well. And you can be quite like, you don't need to be too neat with this. Like it's just a bit of fun. You don't have to be too delicate. I think that looks really cool as it is. I quite like that. Like that. But we'll add this lovely lady here. So the reason I'm not gluing very well is because I don't want to take up too much space and have like a sort of gluing area. So I'm just using my fingers, but you can obviously be way neater with your gluing. I just want you to be able to see everything now that my camera seems to be working a bit better. Okay, so that's looking good. And then we're going to do the off to the land of tiddlywinks. Oh, maybe we should put some actual circles on this so they're like the tiddlywinks. I think that would make sense, wouldn't it? So I'm going to pop that here. Yeah, that looks good. So then if I empty my hole punch, we should have all of those little circles and we can actually stick those on as well, which I think is good fun. You will get very sticky fingers for sure. But that's always the case with collage, isn't it? Maybe do one more so I can then move on to another card. Lovely. Okay, so we've got our first card done. I think that looks really nice. I like that. Off the land of tiddlywinks. And how easy was that? It's just a couple of bits of ripped up paper and a nice cutout lady in a pretty dress. Wonderful. Okay, so that's the first one. I'll put that over here. Let's move on to a second card. We'll do a Queen of Spades now, shall we? We'll do a. What are they called? What are the cards called that are people? They've got a name, haven't they? The non-numbered suits. I can't remember. Okay, so first things first. I quite like that. I still really like this mouth. I think that's really fun. I'm trying to think how we can incorporate this. I quite like this circle. I'm thinking, can we do something there? That looks quite nice. That's quite interesting. So it's all about layers, isn't it? That's quite good. I like that. And then I quite like I like strips going along as well. I think is quite good. Do I want? I'm just wondering. Do I want another person? We don't necessarily need people on the suits that have already got faces on, do we? Because we want to see some of it, don't we? So this one could be quite simple. I think I want a strip along it of something. And I don't know if we just want colour or if we want some writing. Let's think. Yeah, I'm thinking some kind of something. I've not quite decided what yet. Just wondering if we could use some of this floral stuff here. I've also got some more things over here. What did we get from over here? This is quite interesting. And this is the bit I also quite like, is this kind of like figuring stuff out. I quite like this this sort of what do you call it? Like a line, building line, horizon line, landscape. The landscape. I like the landscape of this. It's quite nice, quite interesting. She's quite interesting. I was going to cut her out at some point. We've also got our oh, maybe how about we use the bottom of this page here? So what we could do is, because we've got here, look, the writing. So the writing says the rumba, the poise and hold usually adopted in this dance. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of cut the feet out. And I'm just wondering if we could use that somehow. It's quite wide though. So let's take those away and just see what happens. See what it looks like as a whole. So you don't get, we might have to use it that way, but then you're kind of, so this is how my brain works. And now I'm sort of going, oh, well, maybe this would be better on a different card, so that we've still got some stuff going on here. So I'm going to put that back over there with that one. We're going to put this back here, and then we just want, I think I just want a little bit of colour to go along here, like just a strip of colour. Not sure what colour that yet though, still not decided. I could use this grass, because we did grass in the last one, didn't we? So then we would have a bit of a theme going on. We could use the red of her coat, that would look quite nice. I wish this floral umbrella was bigger. I wish we had more of that. Let's go with the grass, just because then we've got a bit of a theme going, and it's a nice contrasting colour from the mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap that around like so, and then it means I can cut it in exactly the right place. And 1 and 2, and then I'm going to put that into position there. Yeah, I quite like that. That's quite interesting. And then I think I'll either add some wording or maybe some little dots along the top. I think that would look quite nice. Okay, so we can glue that down. So pop that on there, get that lined up. And then we're going to do the, so make sure I'm going to put these both down and then sort of try and remember where I'm going to put the semicircle. Yeah, okay. Oh, which side are we going to use? Maybe we use that side. Lovely. Pop that down there. And then last but not least, we can put our little red lip on. Okie dokie. Oh, I've got glue everywhere. Nice, nice, nice. That's looking good. It's a bit interesting, isn't it? A bit different. And then we can add something along the top. We want a nice bit of writing. So I'm going to revert back to my Enid Blyton book and see if I can find something fun. Something about a fancy dress party here. This says Bobby was right, and there were fairies. That could be quite fun. So I'm gonna cut that writing out. I'll never know this story because I've started ripping it up straight away. So I'm never going to know. Although I think it is a series of, I think it's more than one story actually. So it's fine. Okay. So I've chopped that down to size. And again, you can be really experimental with your writing. You can handwrite things as well. I'm going to I think I'm going to put that over like that, cross that over. I think that looks quite nice. Very good. going to go sort of along there, like so. Yeah, very good. Okay, fan of that. I mean, I have got glue all over it, but there we go. There's our next one. Okay, what's next? We've got our 5 of hearts, and we did sort of save this, wondering if we could do something with it. If we were to put it lengthways, like so, then you get the feet and the bit of writing. And then, oh, I wonder if we could put some actual feet in there, because they're talking about dancing, aren't they? So we could put this little heel in there. And then maybe, what would we put on top? Maybe one of these little faces. The only problem is they then cover up this writing. So what have we got that we could use? Well, we still haven't used her yet, have we? We'll put her on the next one. Maybe it doesn't matter that we're covering it up ever so slightly. I think that's okay, isn't it? So what I might do is I'm going to cut some more off of the edge of this, like this, just to make it a bit thinner. And then I'm just measuring the edge of the card so that I cut it at the right length. 1 and 2. So that's going to sit there like that, or I suppose it could go the other way around, couldn't it? And then we'd see the writing. I've not quite cut this to the right size, have I? So I'm just going to ever so slightly trim that, just so it doesn't overhang, because we want it to, the illusion to be that it's always been there, don't we? And then we were going to put the leg here. Hang on. I am making a mess, is what I'm doing, of course. So that can go there. And then we were looking at the little faces, weren't we? I think she looks quite fun, doesn't she? So maybe I wonder if we put the leg upside down, and then her face can sit at the top then. That looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Looks a bit strange. We have got another pair of feet here. We've got these feet. And actually, do we not have some more feet over here? I feel like we had some other feet options. So we've got these feet options. But I know if I start cutting those out, we'll be here forever, won't we? So we'll stick with our little lacy heel. That's quite a nice one, isn't it? So we just need to decide where we're going to put it. Do we put it underneath her head? Does that look a little bit strange? No, I think that's a bit weird, isn't it? I quite liked it the other way around. So we'll put that there. We'll put that there. And then her head's going to sit here. Yes, that's nice. And then I want something across as well. Do I want something? Not something fully across, something that's sort of sitting behind it. Yeah, this piece here. I'm going to rip that down a little bit further. Lovely. And then that's going to sit underneath the leg, sort of like this, just to add a bit of something else. Lovely. Okay, let's get sticking that down. So we're going to go with our ballroom dancing piece first, the rumba. I mean, these people did not, the image of them, they do not look like the rumba they do on Strictly Come Dancing at all. So don't know what sort of rumba they're doing. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. And then we're going to stick this down next, because this goes underneath the leg. And that's going to sit, I'm going to put that around there, just so we can still see that 5 of hearts going on there. And then we'll do we do her face next or the leg next? Let's see. So that's going to go there. Are they going to not touch at all, actually? Yeah, doesn't matter. So we'll do her face next. Okay. That's going to pop. That's going to go there. Very nice. And then we've got I mean, don't copy the way I'm doing the gluing here. I'm being very, very, very untidy. I'm being very messy. Okay. Lovely. So I guess all that's left is whether we want to do some little dots on there. I feel like we do want to do some little dots. I want some little, oh, maybe we could use a sticker, actually. I forgot about my stickers. So I'm going to use, maybe I should use a pink heart. And I'm going to stick that, where am I going to stick that? Here. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Very happy with that one. How long have we got? Oof. Let's see if I can do one more. So we've got our ace of spades, and I really am keen to use this one here. I spent such a long time cutting her arm out. I think it would be silly not to. So do we want it this way or this way? This way, I think. It's still ever so slightly too big here. So again, I'm going to fold around it, and then I'm just going to cut off the edge there. It's sort of got a rounded edge as well, hasn't it? Let's see if that fits a bit better. Yeah, that's okay, isn't it? And once I've glued it in, I can always chop those little tiny edges off there. Okay, so I really like her on that one. I just need to give it a bit of colour. So what do we want? Oh, and maybe some, I'm thinking a bit of colour underneath it, and then maybe some sort of like writing over the top. Would she fit on there, or is that too much? Oh, I quite like that. Maybe we could have her actually floating out of the card itself. That might look quite nice. Okay, sure. I just want to get, I want some red is what I want. And I know I've got some red because I've got this bit that I cut out her coat. So I'm just going to, so I'm going to cut a really like random strip out. And I'm thinking, I'm going to cut that nice and straight, like so. Move that little fairy out the way. Let's see what happens if we put that. Yeah, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Oh, I was going to put holes in it, but I quite like it like that. Okay, I'm going to immediately stick that down because I'm really happy with that. I know that that's going to look good. So that can go, where was that? Probably just about there. Nice. And then she's going to sit above it like that. And then we can always put some more colour. I mean, let's glue that down first. Let's glue her down and see what it might need. Without ripping the arm bit. Okay. Right, let's see if we can stick this down neatly so we don't see any edge. Lovely. Very good. Okay. Great, that's looking good. I really like that. I have got glue all over it. So do we want to put the fairy on there? So there's a few options here. We can either stick the fairy down, we could fold. Oh, I quite like that. So all that we're getting is that tiny bit of her wing that's sticking out. I think that would look really nice. So let's just cut along that line there and then stick that on, and then we might put some little circles on just to add a bit of something. Okay, or maybe some writing. So she's going to sit just there. Yeah, that's nice. I like that a lot. Do we want writing or do we want, so I think circles. I think I want circles. And again, I want some colourful circles. So I'm looking at these bits here. I'm looking at these. I'm looking at some bits that might be a bit brighter. So we've got the green. Let's definitely get some of these green ones. And then maybe some of these pink ones. Empty them out. Lovely. We can stick those on straight away. And the great thing about these is they're always double-sided, so you'll never know what colour you're going to get on the other side. Green one here. And then another green one. Maybe up here. Yes, another one of these little pinky red ones. And then one more green one, maybe. Oh, should we do the last one? We might as well, hey? That's looking good. I like that a lot. I am just, I mean, I'm fiddling now. I'm just thinking of ways that we could sort of add, like, I think that would look quite nice. Oh yeah, let's just do that as the last little bit, because I don't know when to stop, you see. You can just keep adding to it, and this is the great thing about it, is because they're so cheap to buy. You can just do loads and loads of them. I think these would make really good gift tags as well, wouldn't they? They're the right size. If you put a hole punch in one corner, they'd make really fabulous tags for presents. Maybe we'll have to think of a sort of Christmassy themed one of these. See if there's a way we can make these very Christmassy. I mean, I think these could get away with being Christmassy anyway. I think if we added some glitter, then that could work, because the colour scheme's right, isn't it? We're using lots of, it's like reds, lots of red in there, and I have used quite a bit of green. So I feel like maybe we just need some gold and silver, and we'd be well on our way for these being Christmas themed. Oh, there we go. Wonderful. Right, I am not going to do any more of these cards because I will get carried away. So let's have a little look at where we've got to. We've made a mess, that much we know for sure. But let me just scoot all of these out of the way so we can see what we've made. So here we go. We have got our 4 little cards. This one's got the rumba on it. We've collaged that one. We've got a lovely little sticker there. This one was good. I really like doing this one with the mouth. That's great. And then this one, Off to the Land of Tiddlywinks. Big fan. And then the last one we did here with the cutout and the fairy with the overlap. Nothing stopping you from overlapping at all. And then if I get a few of these other pieces out, so we can see those. Got a similar thing going on here. Sort of stuck with the theme. I've stuck with the theme of greens and reds, black and white photos, and writing, and sort of random images. And there we have it. Fantastic. So as I said before, the possibilities for these are endless, I think. I'd never really thought of them, but they'd make really good gift tags, I think, on cards, especially if you added some gold ribbon. Thinking gold ribbon. I'm going to have a think about how we can jazz these up a bit, maybe using some glitter. But I really like the idea of sort of lining them out and putting them in a frame. I think they make really unique art. And how cheap. Such a cheap way of doing it. You can buy a pack of cards for like £1, and all of these sort of cutout materials were completely free. Oh no, the Enid Blyton book was £1. But you might have some old Enid Blyton books that you don't mind chopping up. But the magazine was free. So really, really super cheap craft. And I think it's just really good fun sort of layering up those images and sticking them all together. Thank you all so much for coming and watching. Sorry about my camera glitches at the beginning. I think we got there in the end. And I'll see you all very soon with another craft. I'll be back in a few weeks. My name's Rosie. My business is Rosie and Ramona. and you can find all of the other videos back on our archives as well. So have a lovely rest of your day, enjoy the cooler air, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.